Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Shalom Malachei Elyon, mi Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon, mi Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni Shalom Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, mi Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi Melech Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, mi Melech Malachei Malachim.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's great to see so many familiar faces. So it's a little bit of a new format this week. We're trying a half hour later. So please tell your friends. I think a lot of people were confused, 5:30, 6 o'clock. So please tell your friends we're going to be at 6 o'clock and we're going to structure the program as services. So it'll be Kabbalat Shabbat with Torah and with the Mishaberach and with Kaddish at the end. But it's mostly going to be service, and we've also moved it a little closer to Shabbat. So we have friends who've dropped off because the timing was a little too early for them, or they didn't know about it. Please, please, please spread the word right on Facebook. This was amazing, if you liked it. So there's one aspect of the format tonight that it's subtle, but I hope will be meaningful. So the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat are a build-up to welcoming Shabbat. In fact, there are 6 Psalms, then Lecha Dodi, and then Mizmor Shir, which is a 7th Psalm. And it's meant to sort of take you through the week that was and prepare us for Shabbat. So there's also 7 weeks from Tisha B'Av to Rosh Hashanah. And so these weeks are also a time of building post Tisha B'Av, a preparation for welcoming the new year. Tisha B'Av is low and we're kind of headed to hopefully entering the new year in a good place. And so over the next 7 years, there's a subtle nod to that. The Devar Torah is going to shift each week. This week, it'll be after the first Psalm. Next week, it'll be after the second Psalm. And as the Divrei Torah get closer to Kabbalat Shabbat, you'll be able to feel the movement towards Rosh Hashanah. That's a way of reminding us of the year that's ending and getting us ready for a new year. So here's what's happening. Tomorrow morning, there are services in the tent. Last week, the services went really well. They were very sweet, socially distant, masks. It was a short service, no sermon. So no, that's very sad for people. Or Kiddush, and we're learning as we go. And we're continuing this week. If you want to sign up for a Saturday morning service, you just go see the Shul e-blast, and you can sign up there. And we're working on a system so that we can do the streaming for Shabbat morning as well. Sunday morning, we're going to have the Yiddish Winkel, Yiddish discussion group at 10. So the Yiddish speakers at 10, the Hebrew speakers Chug Ivri at 11, both on Zoom, of course. On Sunday evening, Professor Rachel Mesh, our congregant, is going to talk about her new book, Before Trans, 3 Gender Stories from 19th Century France, moderated by Rachel Jacoby Rosenfield. On Monday, we're starting a program that we are actually partnering with synagogues around the country and institutions around the country. 40 plus teachers and organizations around the world are going to create 6 weeks of programming, again, to march us from now up until the high holidays. And every single day, you can participate in a live Zoom class focused on a different Jewish virtue. So the classes start on the 3rd, on Monday. I'm going to be teaching on August 17th, but there's really amazing teachers. You do need to register, so follow the link on the email to register. And also note that the times are all listed Pacific Standard Time, so you need to adjust 3 hours. Add 3 hours. Monday night, a little evening music with Sheila Reinhold. And last week, we had another one of our conversations about race, talking to kids about racism. And this week, our series continues with with the question of what work do we need to do with a moderator. Wednesday morning, I'll be teaching Torah for Today at 11 a.m. And in the evening, Cantor Marcia Lane is going to be teaching a Parsha Hebrew class. Next week, Friday Night Live, back here at 6 p.m. This is way more programming than we ever do in the summer. We're trying to meet people where they are. So if there's things that you're liking about our program, please let us know that. If there's stuff that you wish we were doing, let us know that. If there's stuff that you think, could be better, you should let us know that well. So now I'm going to turn it over. Music with Brian Gelfand and Cantor Stevens, Torah from Rabbi Greenberg, and then we'll end with the Mishnah Berach and Kaddish.
So this is a song that I've known for many years. I'm sure many of you know it. It was a Jewish a cappella favorite. It still remains to be so. But the words are actually very serious. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Right? To basically comforting our nation in these weeks that are considered the weeks after Tisha B'Av, or that are sort of the weeks of consolation. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ambi, Nachamu, Nachamu, Yomar Elokechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ambi, Nachamu, Nachamu, Yomar Elokechem. Daber alev Yerushalem v'kiru eilecha ki malatzah ki miyad Hashem v'chayim b'chol chatotecha. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Nachamu, Nachamu, Yomar Elokechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Nachamu, Nachamu, Yomar Elokechem. Kol nachamu, yomar Elohei. Nachamu, nachamu, ami, nachamu, nachamu, yomar Elohei.
Thank you, Brian. That was so beautiful. We're going to continue now with the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat with Yedid Nefesh. Hi, 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 Yedid nefesh Parachaman v'shofach Eretzonach O yarutz avdach kemo Haya yishtachave El muhadanach Oh yeah, lo yedidutach minofetuf lechotam. Hay 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 Hadur na'eziva olam nafshi cholat avatach o ana elna refana la behar otla Nam zivach, O az titchazek v'titrape v'haytalach shivchat olam. Hay 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 Vatik yemo rachamecha v'chusana aber ohavach o ki ze kama nichsof lirot betiferet uzach Tiferet uzach O ana eli machman libi chusana ve'atitalam Hay 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 Yigalena ufros chaviv alai et sukat shelomach o ta'ir eretz mikevodach nagina ונסמך או מהר אהוב כי במועד וכל נהני ימי עולם היי 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 40 שנה אקוט בדור, ואומר המטועה לבבהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי באפי, אם יבואו אל מנוחתי, עיני דירי עיני
What does it look like to plead for something that you know you can't have, but hope against hope you can have anyway? This week's Parsha, Va'etchanan, gives us a glimpse into what that sense of desperation might look like. The Parsha begins with a plea for Moses. He is begging God to let him into the Promised Land. After all, Moses has worked so hard for so many years to bring the people to the land. He wants to see his life's work completed before he dies. He begs God to let him have this last wish. It is such an understandable request. Please just let me have this one thing, God. Please. I am desperate for this. This is not a plea God is willing to fulfill for Moses. God responds, Rav lach, al tosef daber elai od badavar hazeh. This is often translated as, enough. Don't talk to me about this idea ever again. While God will not let Moses into the land, God does let Moses see the Promised Land. God grants part of Moses' request. Moses does not appreciate it, though. He tells the people that this act was God's wrath on their account. Moses can't imagine that God granting only part of his plea is a positive thing. Moses longs for being physically in the land. I want to focus on the phrase in which God replies to Moses, the Rav lach, which literally means, it is enough for you. Why does God use that specific language with Moses? Many commentators read this phrase as God telling Moses to just drop this idea. It's as if God is saying, Moses, enough already. Stop your kvetching and don't ever talk to me about this again. The Torah commentator, Haktava Kabbalah, read this phrase as God's instruction. Moses, just accept what happened and move on. If you continue to pray for something you can't get, people will begin to say that you are stubborn and refuse to accept when you don't get what you want. In this reading of the text, Moses is seen as inflexible and unwilling to accept his reality. He just wants to enter the land. Nothing else will do. And God is tired of him asking. Yet how you read the intonation of the phrase Rav lach can change its entire meaning. Another commentator, the Bechor Shor, understands God's admonition in a totally different way. He writes that God tells Moses, I've done enough miracles for you. Leave space for others to feel that they have been distinguished by me, because there won't be an end for what you want me to do for you. After you enter the land, you will then ask to see the temple. Here, God warns there will never be enough. God tells Moses, you think that the only way for there to be enough is if you see the land and then everything that happens to the Jewish people thereafter. God, according to the Bechor Shor, is trying to help Moses see Rav lach. You have had enough. And that enough has been so much. God reminds Moses that he has seen miracles no one else has seen. He has a relationship with God that no one else has had. God is saying, look at all you have, Moses. That is enough for you. Rabbi Michal Springer, one of my mentors, picks up on this idea that God is encouraging Moses to see abundance, even where Moses thinks he is facing deprivation. She writes, God is helping Moses to cultivate a sense of gratitude in the face of brokenness. The comfort comes in seeing the gifts that exist even in the brokenness. When God tells Moses he can see the land from where he is, God teaches that the gift, the abundance, does not need to look like what Moses thought and hoped it would look like. If we can find a way to cultivate gratitude, to find ways to affirm Ravlach enough, then we can experience the grace in our lives. And that is where we can find comfort. In Rabbi Springer's reading, God tries to teach Moses to find gratitude for what is and not for what could be. Getting to see the land is a miracle as well, even if it's not the miracle Moses wanted. Ravlach, what does it mean to have enough? We are living through an incredibly difficult time now. So much has been taken away from us that we need and want. And there are moments when we are all Moses, when we are pleading to be given something that we want, something that will make us feel normal again. Whether that pleading is to have our kids go back to school, pleading to be able to walk outside without fear, pleading to be able to hug another human after living alone for 5 months, pleading to be able to see our kids or grandkids or friends or nieces or nephews, pleading to be able to breathe the fresh air without a mask on. We all have moments of thinking, enough, I just can't do this anymore. I'm never gonna get what I want, it will never be enough. And yet, in our best moments, we try to channel the other form of Ravlach. Look at how much there is to still be grateful for. Look at what I have in the space where I didn't think I had enough. Look at what I can appreciate and notice that I never noticed before. Look at the abundance all around me. I have heard from many of you that I've spoken to in the last few months that you have intense amounts of gratitude for things you never noticed or appreciated before. Whether it's noticing the flowers that bloom at different times on your block, or hearing the birds sing so frequently, learning on Zoom from amazing teachers and scholars from Jerusalem and Boston and California, reading more books and learning a new language, loving our dear ones from far away, talking through phone calls and Zoom and socially distanced visits. Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis embodied this sense of finding enough, even when there was so much more he wanted. As someone who worked tirelessly for civil rights for Black people in our country, it would have been easy for him to be full of despair at the end of his life. The Voting Rights Act, the crowning jewel of his work for equality, was deeply weakened by the Supreme Court. Violent police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and too many other Black Americans happened in the last months of his life. It would have been easy for him to feel a sense of desperation at where the country is versus where he dreamed it would be. And yet, he was so grateful for all that he and so many others had accomplished during his lifetime. Yesterday, an op-ed he wrote before his death appeared in the New York Times. He wanted it to be published the day of his funeral. It's the embodiment of deeply appreciating Ravlach, of having enough, even while knowing not nearly enough has been done. He wrote, "While my time here has now come to an end, I want you to know that in the last days and hours of my life, you inspired me. You filled me with hope about the next chapter of the great American story when you used your power to make a difference in our society. Millions of people motivated simply by human compassion laid down the burdens of division. That is why I had to visit Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, though I was admitted to the hospital the following day. I just had to see and feel it for myself that after many years of silent witness, the truth is still marching on. Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe. In my life, I have done all I can to demonstrate the way of peace, the way of love, and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring." End quote. For John Lewis, seeing the next generation taking up the charge to dismantle racism was enough. His life's work was enough. There are many moments when all of us feel like Moses, when all we can say is, please, God, please, if you could only give me this, what I have feels like a punishment. And there are many moments when we feel like John Lewis, when we are able to say, thank you, God, for the abundance that is still here, for the beauty that I still have around me. Ravlach, for now, may that be enough.
Yesh koach. We continue with Kabbalat Shabbat that you can now see on your screens. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo, basru miyom leyom yeshuato, sapru bagoyim kevodo v'chol ha'amim nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai מאוד נורא הוא הכל אלוהים אליי כי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים ואדוני שמיים עשה הוד והדר לפניו עוז ותפארת במקדשו הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו העיני השתחוו לאדוני בחדרת קודש חילו מפניו כל הארץ אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך עתיקון תבל בתימות ידין עמים במישרים ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירמה יעמוד לו יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו עיני אז ירננו כל עצי יער לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונת דירנאי נאי 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 אדוני מלך תגל הארץ ישמחו עם רבים. אוהבי אדוני שנאו רע, שומר נפשות חסידיו, מיד רשעים יצילם. אור זרוע לצדיק וישרה לב שמחה, שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. מזמור של אדוני שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במישרים. Adonai malach yirgezu amim yoshev kiruvim tanut haaretz. אתה כוננת משרים, משפט צדקה ביעקב אתה עשית. רב אמר והשתחוו לאדון רגליו קדוש הוא. רב אמר והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני מנהלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז עיני, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני עולמים אל הכבוד הרים. אדוני חיים רבים, כל אדוני בכוח עיני, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, לשבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסריון, כמו בן רימים עיני, כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני חולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו, כולו אומר כבוד עיני, אדוני למה בו ישב וישב, אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז ועם לא ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Okie dokie. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zamucho v'diborecha yishmiyanu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Hashem u'tiferet be'elit likrat ha'ala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberamcha beirosh mikedem nesucha Melech ir melucha kumi tzei mitorah v'charav lach shevet b'yemei kavod habahu yachamol alayichem lahu echadodi likrat kal lapnei Shabbat nekabela Idnari meyafaku milipshi bidi Teti fatecha miyal yad ben yishai Beit alach mikarva Tel nafshi lichadodi Likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabela Echadodi likrat kala enei Shabbat nekabela Hitori kiva orech Kumi uri Shir dabeir Adonai, Alayich nigla, Echadodi, Likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Totevo shivelo tikami, Mati shtochachi, O matemi bach yechesu, Ani yeyam ivri ivita, Eirati lam, Echadodi, Likrat kala, Shabbat nekabela Echadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela V'hayulim shisach Shavasayich v'rachaku kol Mevalayich yasis alayich Elohayich Kimsos chatan al kala Echadodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela Echadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Yaminu smo tifrot tziviyel Yadonai Ta'aritzi al yarish Ben parts v'nismecha v'nagila Echadodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela Echadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Boi b'shalom Ateret babela Gam berina Uvetzala tochemune Am segula Boi chala Echadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Echadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela
Thank you so much, Brian. That was the whole thing. The davening and the music and the words of Torah were just really powerful, and I'm looking forward to marching through the next 7 weeks together. Before service ends, I just want to take a minute to think of people who are sick or in need of healing. I think we all have people on our own list. I have the Mishaberach list here from the synagogue, and I've been looking at those people all week long, and we'll think about them tonight as well. So if you want to unmute yourself, if there's someone that you're praying for this week, someone that you hope gains strength in the coming week, please unmute yourself and share their name, and then I will say the Mishaberach. So feel free to unmute yourselves if you have something to say.
What should we talk about? See you at all.
Christopher Sambuco.
Rachel Batshena.
Dorit Niederham.
Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarif Rachel Leah Yuvarech V'Rapei Atacholim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleim Lachazikam L'Rapotam V'Yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuah Shlema L'Chol Evreghem V'Gidehem B'Tot Shel Chol Yisrael Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf Hashta Bagala V'Zman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. I know there's people on the call who are in mourning, in the year of mourning, or observing a yard site. So if you want to unmute yourselves and just share who you're saying Kaddish for tonight. Maybe some of them put the Kaddish up on the screen.
And Forger.
Sarah Magid.
Maxima Tranberg.
God of all spirits, in whose hands rest the souls of the living and the dead, graciously and mercifully accept our prayers on behalf of our loved ones, and remember all of the good and kind things that they did in this world. Grant them peaceful rest in the upper world, which is completely good. Yitkadal v'yitkadash, may God's great name be sanctified and glorified. L'seh shalom, may God who makes peace in the high places, make peace for us, and for all Israel, for all who live on earth, v'imru, and let us say, Amen. And now join me. El Elohei Haruchot, Asher Biadcha Nafshot HaChaim VaMeitim, Pnei Hayom B'Chesed U'Barachamim, El Tfilatenu L'Zecher Yekirenu, U'Zechorna Et Kol HaChesed VaTov, Sha'asu Ba'olam Hazeh, Tein Lahem Menucha Nechona Ba'olam Elyon, Olam Shekulo Tov, Yitkadal V'Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Oseh Shalom B'Mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru. Amen. After I think a little closing music, it's going to be time for Kiddush. So stick around and we'll chat. That is you. That is you.
Okay.
Maybe he'll take
An oldie but a goodie. Bim, bam, bim, bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Thank you so much, Brian, for really all of the music tonight. It's been really, really so beautiful.
A pleasure. The whole thing was beautiful. Really.
And thank you, as Rabbi Katz said, to Rabbi Greenberg for her Torah, for Cantor Stevens for the amazing davening. It's really been awesome. So now we encourage you, you're probably in speaker view right now. You probably just see my face really big. If you click in the top right corner on the little squares, you can go to gallery view. You can see everyone who's here. If you're on an iPad, if you just swipe across, you'll be able to see more faces of friends and perhaps family. I know there's some multi-generational Zoom attendees. So we just wanted to say hi and to welcome everyone and to give a little time for Kiddush, a little time for schmoozing. So in my family, the thing that we always ask around the Shabbos table is a highlight of your past week, something good that happened to you. So if anyone would like to share, if you had a highlight this week that you